We're closing to the end. As we wrap up in this room today, I would encourage all of you to take all the connections that you've made here, all the ideas that you've heard, all the inspiration that you've felt, and carry them forward. This is not the end, but rather the beginning of new collaborations, new projects, and definitely new commitments to making a difference. EmpathyTech is not just an event. It's a call to action for all of us to use our skills, our technology, and our compassion to build a better future. We will continue to have more of these events in the future, definitely. This definitely stems that we will do more of these. This is a movement, and we hope we've moved you all there today. So thank you very much. And to finish off, no better than Joe Duffey from NewCourtland, who is a true champion and really advocating the importance of this field and doing more than than anyone could expect from him. So thanks very much, Joe.
So, all right, so I'm on. Wow, that was impressive. Now, talk about tech. So I've got the unenviable job of wrapping up today and summarizing today. And I don't know how to begin to summarize today because it's somebody used the word imagination, and I come to understand there is no magic without imagination, right? You have to be able to think what never has been thought before. So people mind if I sat for a minute to wrap this up? All right? All right. Because I'm going to maybe share, first of all, I just want to thank you, Joe. Can you imagine in this small little first time ever event, we got 2 state reps to come that represent our territory with Tariq this morning. And I want to say that Joe was not invited here because he's our state rep. He's invited here because of the type of state rep that he is. And the same with Tariq this morning. We are so blessed by people who go and fight for us in our state house. And we have, as most of you know, we have housing throughout the city, and we have housing in Joe's territory. And we had an event on Veterans Day last Monday, and who was there to greet our veterans and say hello to them? Joe was there to support us in the neighborhood. So we are just extraordinarily blessed to have the representation that we have for folks that really understand the blight of those living in the communities that we have. And both of our state reps that are here today serve parts of the city that are really struggling and need their representation. So Joe, thanks so much for being here today and for what you do every day. Thank you. So I want to thank, I'll say thanks to Tariq, even though he's not here. He is an old friend of NewCourtland, as everybody knows. I personally sat in on his, we call him Representative Khan, but he's actually Dr. Tariq Khan. I sat in on his PhD dissertation 2 years ago this December. I was away on vacation in Colombia, South America, and I chimed in and I got to watch him defend his dissertation. And he's a brilliant mind. And when I meet people like Joe and other representatives, they know him and they engage each other because they know that together they can accomplish more together. So it's a terrific collaboration that they have. So Gear, thank you so much for hosting and for emceeing today. You did a great job. Your English is flawless. Don't worry. I didn't notify anything you said in the morning, so I hope that I have as good a diction as you have, and I'm speaking here today. And Gary Pisano, you're always there. Where are you, Gary? See, and there are Gary. We have Leading Age Pennsylvania as NewCourtland. We have a representation guidance from them as an association for nonprofit nursing homes and housing providers for elderly. His leadership and the staff that he has is unequaled. When somebody shows up from Leading Age, you have a talented person supporting us. So we're blessed to be members of the Leading Age group. So, and Dr. Leary, thank you for your panel, leading your panel. And so I want to just talk a little bit about why this matters. If I could just deviate a little bit. Why EmpathyTech? Why us, right? Those problems are so big. 11,000 people a day turning seniors. Doesn't count the number of people being born today with a special need, right? And Brooke mentioned that she has a 14-year-old with Down syndrome and autism, and I have next week 31-year-old with Down syndrome and autism, right? So I'm just a little ahead of the curve, and she was 14 yesterday, I can promise you. And she's, as I said this morning, she is my soul and my purpose, you know? And she teaches me so much. So it drives what I do and how I think about the world. But why does this event matter when the problem is that big and we have a government and it doesn't have a shortage of money? Why can't they just solve the problem? Why can't they fix this problem? And we have massive universities with massive research who do care about these, and they are doing research in these centers, and we're gifted to work and collaborate with the University of Pennsylvania and NewCourtland Center for Transition in Health, and we know how many caring people are out there. And you have large corporations. We talked about Aetna and IBC and these big healthcare companies. They know these problems exist, and they know the population they know the statistics. We're getting the statistics from them. Why do we need entrepreneurs? Why do we need us at our kitchen table, right? And what do we bring to the table that they don't bring? And so I first wanted to define what an entrepreneur is, okay? So that we're all thinking in terms of the same term. Because we think of an entrepreneur as somebody who's self-employed, okay? And we think of an entrepreneur who's somebody who starts up a new business. And that's not what entrepreneurship is, right? Because you can be self-employed and running your dad's plumbing business, and you never had one entrepreneurial innovative idea in your life. You just learned from dad how to swing a wrench, and I was one of those guys. I grew up as a plumber and an HVAC contractor, and after a number of years decided an education might be a better idea, and I did. So but I'm still a licensed electrician and a licensed plumber to this day, okay? And I also have a CDL for a license for driving a truck that I was required to get when I was a teenager. And I hang on to it with a badge of pride, you know? And, but those years informed who I am. But this idea, so an entrepreneur is, to contrast it with what leadership and management does in the normal setting of all of those government, their job is to maximize the productivity of resources. Make sure the resources are moved efficiently. People and plant and equipment and dollars are used efficiently, okay? An entrepreneur is not that. An entrepreneur identifies a problem in society that needs a solution, and they go in search of the pieces that are necessary to solve that problem. They don't have a plant and people and dollars, okay? And that's what differentiates this community. That's why this is so important, so that we come together and learn from each other, support each other, guide each other, and we have something that all of these other people don't have, right? We have a child who's 14. We have a child who's 20. We have a kitchen table that's sweating about the real problems that our loved one is living with. We have a grandmother or a mother or a father who's struggling to stay in their home or struggling to be in a nursing home, and maybe we live across the country or across the state and we can't see them as much as we want. So we have the real problem. We've identified the problem that allows us to be the innovators, to create the magic that can then make their lives and our lives better. So I would like to posit this thought that who doesn't need these solutions? Who doesn't think in their lifetime they're going to have a family member that needs the care that we're talking about giving to my daughter and Brooke's son, right? Who doesn't think they're going to have a parent or a grandparent that's not going to need these services at some point in time? And you can't do it on your own, okay? We all know we can't do it on our own. Okay, so the why it matters is it matters to everybody. Why it matters is that every one of these individuals is, your children are my children, right? Your parents are my parents, right? So we have to care for each other, and never mind the fact that whether we care for our parents or our children, maybe that care is needed by me, right? We don't like to think that someday, I say in Germantown nursing home, our nursing home here, nobody ever wants to go to a nursing home. Nobody ever, put your hands up if you want to someday live in a nursing home. You'll be the first hand to go up if I ask that question, okay? But I can tell you today, I can introduce you to 180 people that want to be in a nursing home. And they're not even 100 yards from here right now. When you need a nursing home, you want to be in a nursing home. When you've been deprived the opportunity to have somebody provide you with meals every day, take care of your medicine, make sure your soiled laundry is clean twice a day or 3 times a day if it has to be. that you have clean pajamas to go to bed with at night every night. That didn't happen when the community that cared for you for most of your life doesn't exist anymore. And you find yourself in a situation where you need to be cared for 24/7 for the final stage of your life. And not everybody who needs that stage is 85. We have some people who are 65 and 60 and 55 and 50. They didn't plan to need those services, okay? But if you ask them today, would they like to leave the nursing home and go back to where they came from and be alone in their apartment, having somebody visit them once a week or maybe once a month or maybe once a day? The answer is no. Because it's a free will. You can leave. Nobody has to stay here. But once you're in a loving environment, a caring environment, you find out that this is a pretty good deal that I get my meal served to me. So this idea of why it matters and why we matter, and then so what's the purpose then? We know it matters, but what's of this EmpathyTech? It's the fact that we get to do this. We get to hear each other's story. We get to see each other's struggles. We get to know that we're not alone, just like our loved ones who have special needs are not alone, right? We get to know that other people, that these challenges are ridiculous. And so now I want to talk about the barriers. We talked about the barriers of, and they're the business barrier. Where's the return on investment? Well, didn't I just say I improved somebody's quality of life? But that's not enough to get funding, right? Didn't I just say that I just kept somebody from being alone, or I kept them safe by my new technology? But I need a return on investment, okay? It's a barrier. If I can't demonstrate, if I need data to get a return on investment, it costs money, okay? I need to get people to know I exist as an entrepreneur in this inefficient dating game between solutions and problems, right? That the overwhelmingness of being a parent, and now you can spend your time looking for the technology to meet the child's needs, or the overwhelmingness of being a child caring for your parent, and now you're going to take a few extra 100 hours and go find that technology to care for your loved one, right? So this is just a very inefficient market that we have to overcome, never mind the shortage of financial capital. And then what was not mentioned a whole lot today is the talent required to do something like this. Okay, we did say that nobody ever says the problem is technology. I loved that line, whoever said that today. The problem, no, it's about technology, and the problem is never technology. The brilliant minds can put the pieces together, but you can't. Where do you get, if you think about what it takes to run a business, you can be the best technology person like we have at Pleatley here, pretty brilliant minds putting a solution together, but does that mean you're a marketing person? Does that mean you know how to ask for the order? That means you know where to find the person to ask for the order, okay? Does that mean you understand human resources and recruiting your folks, and the financial statements that you have to be able to read to run a company, and the lease that you have to sign to have your company be in an office somewhere? These are complex little things that every little business needs, what every big business needs, right? So the challenges are enormous. So I think that for us, the lesson is that we need the entrepreneur, because the entrepreneur has the kitchen table. And the kitchen table is where the problems are talked about, okay? And that's why we have to support the entrepreneurs. I had a friend of mine who passed away 14 years ago in his late 80s, and he was a prolific angel investor. And he invested in hundreds of early stage companies. He was part of a group of angel investors called LORE, Loosely Organized Retired Executives, right? And they had one mantra, okay? And it was, we don't care about return on investment. We care about investing in the next generation of entrepreneurs. And let them fail, because if they fail, they will wake up with wisdom the next day. And then they'll succeed. And he was a brilliant, his name was Buck Bell. I don't mind bragging about him. He was one of my mentors. He was an unbelievable human being. And in Philadelphia, he's a little bit of a legend, but he passed away in 2010. But it was his meeting with his entrepreneurs was always about, how are you doing? How are you coping? What are your challenges? What are your problems? How can I help you? Never, ever, what's my return on investment? Brilliant. And by the way, he made out really, really well. His returns on investment was significant, okay? And he poured it back in. So that's my kind of why it matters observations. As when I was told I was going to be asked to do the summary of today, I said, holy crap, I have to pay attention now, right? So what's going on? But I did pay attention, and I learned an awful lot. I want to talk about this idea that return on investment. We as NewCourtland, we're running this organization. We're a little nursing home here, one little 180-bed nursing home in a world of, as Gary said, 420 nursing homes in the state. I think is that approximately, and that's just the nonprofit nursing homes, right, that are members. So we're just one little place in Germantown, but we have a board of directors that said, listen, we can keep doing things the way they keep being done, or we can try to be innovators. We can try to do things. And that's why our mission of our vision of health equity is driven by a mission of support our employees, support innovation, and do it through collaboration. That's right on our website. Gary said he looked it up. And it's deliberate, right, to say we don't think we can solve any problems by ourselves. Okay, but we do think that when we bring the wisdom that we have of housing and complex health for complex individuals is significant in NewCourtland. The fact that we can be that petri dish for a product like Pleatly, that we could bring that in. And lo and behold, when we bring it in, what happens? Lo and behold is the staff that we gave the job, they already have a full-time job, take this technology and offer it to the family members of your seniors in the dementia unit, by the way. And see if we can get 10 or 12 of them to sign up to volunteer to try this new software. So we put it out there, we put a poster out, we tried it. One thing about my colleagues, Max Kent and Allison, we don't do anything unless we commit 110% to it. So where's Pam Howard? Is the Pam around somewhere? Our nursing home staff, we said if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. And lo and behold, we had 19 families sign up. And we weren't even equipped to really handle the 19. So we asked a couple to stand on the sideline, and we have been testing this product, I think, for 7 or 8 months now. I'm not sure how long it's been, but we have realized that our employees have been one of the greatest recipients of the benefit of the software, because it changes the conversation with the family members who are coming to visit mom and dad, when the conversation isn't about, did she eat her lunch? Did she take her medicine? Is her bed cleaned? The conversation is, I saw that picture of her at the music lessons. The conversation is, I saw that she was in this setting here. When did that happen? And what time was that? And can I know about that next time? And you start to change the conversation with the family member. And now, instead of being a caretaker who says, oh my God, there goes Mrs. So-and-so's son coming down the hall, or daughter coming down the hall. What's she going to want from me now? I have to stop my work and explain my whole day. Now I get to explain the experience that we had together with your loved one, right? So the employees want to hang on to it, right? It's meaningful, right? It just changes the conversation. So, and then you have the family members who, instead of coming down and asking about this, and this, they're asking about mom's day. Not what did you do, but what did mom do? What happened today? So this is creating the magic. This is the creating, and we need to address the needs of our employees, because the employees are burned out because of what Alex Drain said today. 2/3 of them are caregivers when they go home from their caregiving job. It's hard to believe. So we have. I just wanted to announce today that yesterday we signed a 3-year collaboration agreement with Pleatly to be their first customer in the U.S. Okay. We want to go beyond being a experimental site, a test site. We want to go in and say we want to offer to every family in the nursing home, okay, and effective when we can get the ink to dry this week or so. And so it is amazing, and so we're blessed to be part of this this journey that we've been on about being part of collaboration and innovation is already paying dividends to us. We have other examples of this, but this is one of the best examples we have, where the family members who use it love it, and the staff that uses it loves it. So how do we make sure that we can now make this available to the entire building? So that's our next step. So did I use up all my time? Yeah. Good. So I want to say to all of you, thank you very much for being here today. And you understand that we're going to be able to say, I was at the first EmpathyTech. Thank you very much.